Greetings, family, and welcome to the H20 Network. I hope everyone is well. And before we actually start our conversation with someone who is no stranger to the H20 Network, Barbara Moreau, I just want to give thanks to all of our family members all across the world and most of all our First Nations people who are defending our water. That's very, very important that I give thanks for that, because if it wasn't for them, I don't know. There's just so much going on. And you all know my guest, Barbara Moreau, as you all know as well. Frank Many Horses has passed on to the ancestral realm, but that means nothing because he is here with us this evening. AncientWisdomTrail.com is being fully reamped. Barbara is one of our elders. She's a healer. She's a shaman, teacher of all kinds, bringing the ancient ways back to modern civilization and reality. And one of the things that I love about you and Frank in your website is how you all used to come on air and always talk about how New Age is not New Age. It's not. The elders have been talking about many things that deal with the spiritual realm of reality for a very, very, very long time. I'm really blessed to have my sister back on the air. Welcome,
Hello.
Barbara.
Hi, and this is Maureen Morven. She, too, is a traditional healer and a shaman.
Hello.
Yeah, after many horses.
I'm excited to have you on. I'm excited to hear about all of the changes, how you all are moving forward, as you well know. You know, I really, sometimes when I get on air and I talk about things, I have to bite my tongue because I get very emotional about it. But it is very important at this time that our elders of all nations come on and really guide people and give healing in their thoughts and what directions to go and to give their tools and resources. So I'm so grateful for you all spending time with me this evening. This is really important. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, we, after he left to the spiritual world on June 25th, I went into a shock and trauma. It took me about 2 months to get out of the fog, and that was with continuous work on myself, ceremonies, prayers. Many horses called them liquid sweats, where I had hot baths with sea salt in it, and did lots of praying there and lots of crying. And all I could hear him say was, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. Keep moving forward. Remember what I told you. And in the beginning, he always told me, I'm not going to be here very long. I need one person to give all the teachings to. So that Grandma and Grandpa's teachings don't go underground with me. So that's what he had done. We have 2 websites. We wrote 12 books. We haven't had them professionally printed yet, but we're working on that. I'm starting from scratch, and I've asked Maureen to partner up with me professionally because she was our last student together, and she stood by us side by side at all our workshops and helped us. And we were the only 2 students that weren't sent home. Yeah, because it's a very, very strict road. Yeah, and very disciplined. So we made it through, and she helped me through the times he was sick at home through distant healing and prayers, and was my backbone after he left, because after it was all said and done, it was just me alone. So I said, okay, are you ready to move yet? You want to come live in my house so we can take this business and run? And that's what we're doing. Yeah, we have our own line of products, Many Horses shamanic blend, lotions, salves, perfumes. We have our own line of cream called Fat Cream, PHAT. Yeah. And it helps shrink the stomach, and I've used it for months. I've had 4 kids, so we're just providing stuff that's made with traditional medicines. And we were taught by a herbalist that's local here on the reserve that I live on, and her name is Babette. She's been teaching us how to make salves and moisturizers, so we've been running with it. Yeah, and we've been going forward. It sure seems slow, but it's actually taking off pretty fast. We are letting people know we've been doing phone readings, phone clearings, so that they can just message us on Facebook or email me or phone my cell phone, and we can set up an appointment. So we can do it over the phone as well. There is a trade, so because we have to pay our bills too, the human part of ourselves.
Absolutely, understood.
Yes. Yes. And many verses always spoke about the New Age. Yes, he was always right. There's two worlds. There's a physical and a spiritual. There's a psychology world of understanding human behaviors. And then there's the spiritual world, the parapsychology world. We call it ancient traditional psychology and ancient traditional parapsychology. They're both intertwined. They're both as one. And the spiritual world has so much effect on us that we're not even aware of it. From thoughts to choices to actions. And our bodies let us know when something bad is near. Our heart flutters. We get nervous for no reason. Our hands get really hot around someone who's sick. Sometimes you just get compelled, and our guides are like, go clear them now, or tell them this. And a lot of times it's like we don't know if they'll accept it, but it's only when our guides tell us to do it. But when we look at people, we know when something's wrong. We don't judge them. We know the solutions, and that's what we are, we're solution-based thinkers and people who get things done.
And that's what many horses was all about. And, we're, like I told you before we got on the air, we recorded, we're just going to keep these things real. When many horses passed over, I think that everybody was in shock. But at the end of the day, we all sort of kind of knew what this was, and we're getting through our healing because there have been a lot of elders who have passed over, and there are many things that are going on in the spiritual world right now where our elders need to be in that other realm of reality and others need to be here. And I'm so happy, Barbara, and Maureen, that you guys are continuing the legacy. I knew that you would continue the legacy, but as you can see, where we're standing right now is pretty crazy. We know what it is. And we need the shamans, the healers. We need everyone to step forward in their own way and to present their tools to humanity, because where we're going, some people aren't really ready for. So
the veil's going to be gone pretty soon.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that, because me and one of my sisters, my water sisters, Astro Risha Moon, she is a priestess in my tradition. We were talking about how spirit is literally around in the daytime. And we talked about this, a couple of years ago, how people will begin to see things that they think is of them, but it's not. And it's walking around in the daytime. It's disguising itself through people. And a lot of people who are watching this may not understand what I'm saying, but spiritual people and people who have sight and clairsentience, all these things can understand what I'm saying. These veils are really, really thin, and there are a lot of things merging together. God, there's so many things that I want to say, but how are you all feeling right now in the state of affairs that we're at? The energy is extremely heavy. There's a lot going on.
A lot of our timelines are being messed with. There's a lot of scientific stuff that's going on that's affecting the spiritual world, and because they deny it, they don't believe it. They don't realize that they're affecting lives. They're bringing in big demons from different dimensions that don't belong in this earthly plane. Our people have always known, if you dig the ground, there's ceremonies they have to do to heal the grid lines. When they're digging in the ground or scraping it up, they are breaking the grid lines, and they are releasing all the entities, the demons, and the dark spirits that have been chased down there for thousands of years and blocked down there. So when they're scraping and cutting and opening the ground, they're releasing sickness. They're releasing demonic spirits, cancer, diabetes, you name it. So our people knew that there are ways, if you want to do development, include the spiritual people to heal Mother Earth's energy grid lines, so you're not releasing the stuff that we put down in there, because they're coming into our reality now. with the veil lifting, you'll see them. If the people in the community, there's stuff that tries to come in my house all the time, and they're like little gremlins or they're big black tar things, and I'll see them with my naked eye, or I'll see them on the corner of my eye and look and they're not there, but I'll get up and I will give them an earful, because I'm not putting up with that negative stuff anymore. Putting it bluntly, because the amount of attacks that we go through as shamans and healers, we don't talk about it very often. I've done a post when Many Horses was alive, because he gave me permission to write about what I witnessed with him. And I would watch him get attacked. I would watch dark spirits go look at his altar. I would see his arms get thrown around when he's sleeping. I would see all kinds of stuff. He would get attacked not only spiritually, he would get attacked by his own family, his own friends, people he didn't even know. We would go to a restaurant and someone would sit there and glare at him. So I would look at them and I'd push energy back and they would stop, because there's no reason. There's no purpose for it. And I let them know that their energy is not accepted in our space. I've become more, I wouldn't say aggressive, but more firm, because there's too much of it going around. People don't realize if they are not aware of these entities, the more they deny, the more they can play with you. The more you deny, the more they can enter you. They mess with your mind. You feel them in your stomach moving around like gas, and there's no gas. Then your heart palpitates, your throat feels like it's closing up, and your head feels like it's really big. So it moves up and down your body, and it goes into your sacral chakra when it goes to sleep.
See,
and people,
now, I didn't know you were going to take me there this evening. Okay, we're going to go down the rabbit hole. Because what you're talking about, Lord, have mercy, girl, you got to prepare me. Now, you're absolutely correct, because these are things that, and I know that you all speak on the down low about this. Me and my elder have talked about this behind the scenes, but never in a public arena, because the things that we witness and what we see and what we feel, if you don't have certain abilities of knowing, we're going to sound crazy to the average person. But let me tell you something, sis. You are so
we're more normal.
And we're normal, exactly. You are so on point, because, every now and again, Spirit will tell me, turn on the television. I want to show you something. And I'll watch the news, and you see these dark beings incarnating within people and acting out in humanity. And, it is on the increase. You can really measure these things. And this is in a plethora. What you're saying is in a plethora. All you have to do is turn on the television and watch certain things and read certain articles of weirdness, and you're like, wow, I know what this is. And this whole CERN thing. What do you guys think about CERN? Because there have been many shamans all over the globe, and people are writing about how CERN is literally opening up portals to things that we have no idea what we're doing. We're just blindly walking into science, but we are literally opening up portals and doors that have been closed by the ancients. And I know many elders who have spoken on this. Talk about CERN.
Well, we've been putting posts on Facebook in the last couple of days and asking people who are gifted to start praying on it, to ask for the energy to be neutralized, because everything starts in spirit first. Instead of reacting and being scared of what they're bringing in, the power of prayer and the power of people coming together as one doing it will help block it. And using the shamanic symbol that Many Horses was shown by Spirit many years ago, we share that in a post on how to use it to close vortexes. You can draw it in the air in front of you and just keep pushing it to their CERN projects, wherever they are in the world, because there's some that are known and many unknown. And it's important to keep those vortexes closed. And it's the solution-based thinking. It's the prayers. It's working in unity. It's letting people know that you can be aware. Just don't get caught up in the fear factor, because there's a solution to everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I completely concur.
Yeah, because everything I've watched on it is so fear-based. It's like, where's the solution? How come the energy workers aren't pulling together and saying, okay, let's do a mass prayer. Let's do a mass prayer for Fukushima and for the oceans and the waters and CERN and whatever it is that needs to get done to keep our planet protected. Because our people used to do this a long time ago, and it's not being done anymore. So it is.
Why do you think it's not being done anymore? Do you think that has a lot to do with
smaller scale?
Yeah.
It's on a smaller. My correction. It is being done on a smaller scale with individuals in small groups and different traditions and beliefs. When you research history, you will find that the teachings that were brought to all of the world, not just North America, it disconnected them from their connection to Mother Earth. And it disconnected them from their connection to Creator. And only we could pray and talk to God for you. You can't have anything to do with Mother Earth because that's witchcraft. So all of these teachings have kept people separate, when all you have to do is put your feet on the ground and say, okay, connect to Mother Earth. And you're connected. Raise your arms up to the Creator and say, ask you, Creator, to bless me, to purify me, to keep me connected for the rest of my life. I love you, honor you, respect you, and believe in you. You pull the energy in, up and down your body, and you're connected instantly. My hands are open and ready to receive these gifts. Hug yourself. Keep the energy locked in your heart. I love you, Creator. I love you, Mother Earth. And it's so simple to get connected every day. You do that every day, and then you're connected to Mother Earth and Creator, and you can just pump energy from the other side to Mother Earth to help her heal. And you can blow energy through your body by walking around, breathing I love you, and you could walk by people and heal them and they won't even know. So you could be the light. And you can do amazing things just with your presence alone. You don't have to be a full-blown healer. You just have to know how to use the energy and how to connect to it. It's really simple.
I concur with that. And
yes.
Speaking about connecting with spirit, it seems that the psychology of humanity is being tampered with. All you have to do is look at your feed and you're like, wow, the fear-based ideologies of people. And some of these are spiritual people, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
What's going on, Barbara? I mean, as we walk forward into the future, it's going to get real hectic up in here. Let's just keep it real. You're going to have to put on an extra layer of deodorant. It's going to be real interesting. So,
stinky.
Yeah, man. Give me your take.
We have 10 years to get things done before Mother Earth really rocks her boat. If you research the science, it's common sense. Like, growing up with my mom, like, she used to tell me stories growing up. And she grew up in the bush back in the 50s with no television, because television wasn't up in the Northwest Territories until the late 60s. Her grandfather told her, you're going to see, you and your children are going to see holes in the sky. You're going to see the poles shifting. It's going to go to the west. And you're going to see the tropical weather that is down south is going to come north, and north is going to go down south. And you're going to see Mother Earth's land move. And science is starting to prove that now. And this was way before technology was in place. Like, our people could see the future and know the future. And my great-grandfather, even tried blocking off a piece of land in the mountains. And on the application, because I've seen the application, my cousin who worked at the government office showed it to me. And he's like, for the survival of the residents of Fort Simpson, he asked for a piece of land in the mountains to be blocked off for them. Because his message to my mother was, when things get bad, go to the mountains, go to high ground. So they knew this back in the 50s, and even when he did the land application in 1967. And the spiritual laws have been removed from all nations in the 60s. And we're allowed to speak about this. Like First Nations in Canada, we weren't allowed to speak or practice our spirituality openly or safely until 1985. So I've only had 31 years of spiritual freedom. And it's like, boy, oh boy, do we have laws to catch up and share with you guys. Because you know what? Science is starting to back up not only what we know orally, but what all nations know. Yeah, so it's really important to start speaking up and sharing what you know and letting people know those dark things that are bothering you, you can command them to leave. Silence is permission. Tell them where to go. Use that mother bear energy and, like, get out. And scream at them if you have to. Because once you don't say anything and you allow them into your home, they will create separation. They will cause fights. They will give you silly images in your head that aren't even yours. They'll create insecurities. They'll create all kinds of stuff to create separation between any type of love in a family. So understanding the dark side is separation, period.
And
they fear.
And that's funny you say that, because this past January, when my elders read the letters of the year, every year my elders read in January to do a measurement of the increase and decrease of energy on the planet. That came up in the Odu, what you were speaking of. The earth shifting, the weather being strange, turmoil within families and families breaking apart, and everything you just said was in the letter of the year.
Yeah. So, it's good to know that dark energy fears unconditional love. It's kind acts. It's being gentle with each other, saying I love you, hugging each other. It's just, and they fear light in the name Jesus Christ. And the original names of creator, or God, for our people, it's Nunez. Other cultures have different original names of their God, or God, the name of God. They fear those original names, even the name God, even the name creator. So we always share with people, if they are bothering you, then you face them and say, by the grace of God, in the name of Jesus Christ, if you're not of divine love, light, and energy, leave now. And if they don't leave, then you start smudging, and you just keep repeating that as you smudge. And you get rid of them. And they're like spoiled children. They'll keep coming back. So you need to ask your ancestors or your guides to take those suckers out. Otherwise, they'll just keep coming back to bother you. Yeah, I usually use one of those chimes.
The bells.
And I pray on it. Yes. Or even a Tibetan bowl. Something that vibrates in the air. And I'll pray.
A pot.
Yeah, or a pot. Something that makes noise. And you pray on it and you ask it to disintegrate it back into neutral energy or back into unconditional love, and you hit it 3 times. Well, and you watch them.
I love sound. Sound gets rid of a lot of things. Sometimes when I feel funny, I walk through my house with a bell. I just go from the back door all the way to the front, all the way in the back. I open up my closets. I just ring that bell, because the energy in my house can sometimes get a little funky, and that's why I always have my front door protected with the essence of light too. So when energy comes up to the door, because as those time shifts happen, you're not welcome here, my friend. You're coming into a shaman's house. No mas. We're not doing none of that tonight.
I just push the energy before I open the door.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, well, first because we're shamans. This is what we do. How does the regular person know? Because, unfortunately, there are a lot of people, sis, who are walking around in the world blindly, and they don't know any better. They've never been taught these things. They're very curious, if you will, but they don't have these tools in recognizing, well, this is something that I, brought with me from somebody else's attachments. Because another thing I want you to explain before you give tools is, how do we pick up energy? Because sometimes people don't really understand. You're hanging out with your best friend, but your best friend has a whole bunch of friends that are on their back that looking at you, oh, she's oblivious to the world. Let me jump on her back and, sort of kind of go home with her and wreak havoc in their lives. Can you please break this down so people understand?
Everything is energy. Many horses always said everything is energy. Everything starts in spirit first, which is spiritual energy. It's a life force living energy. When you close your eyes and you see light and you see an outline of a screen, that is the energy of that screen. If you look at a couch and close your eyes, that's the energy outline of that couch. Whether it's alive or not, everything has energy. Energy is, and to really understand it is to know what yours feels like. And it's a simple exercise. Rub your hands together and you just feel it. And it feels magnetized, it feels tingly, it feels hot, it feels airy. That's your energy. That's what people feel when they're around you. People who are sensitive. So if you ask this energy, okay, show me how much energy I have today, and you allow the energy to push your hands, it will keep going until, okay, I have lots of energy today. So it's showing I'm full of energy today. But if your energy stops here, shoulder width or less, then take it easy that day. This energy, our heart generates this electromagnetic energy. Our heart stores all of our main memories with our brain. There's neurons in it and in our stomach as well. So our whole bodies hold memories. Our spirit is within our body. It's the exact same replica as us. And that's where our emotional bodies store our memories, not only in our physical, but in our spiritual body. When we are blocked, when we have traumas we've never talked about, or never faced, or don't remember, it will block our sensing and our gifting. So as we start going along in life, after the brain matures after 25, you'll notice that we feel way more. It's like, oh my God, there's got to be more to life. And you either go look for help, you look for, talk to people. Some people just drown it out, and they do drugs and alcohol and make different choices because they're not finding what they're looking for. For me, I went to church, and it's like, why does my heart hurt? How come I always want to cry? And she said, oh, God's coming into your heart. I'm like, okay, God's not supposed to hurt. It's not supposed to cause this much pain. And it was when I went through I guess I can say my own possession, is when I realized all the stories my mom told me about the legends and traditions and energy and medicine and traditional healers. It was like my holy crap moment. This is really real. So after I had gone through that, I had learned I don't ever want anyone to go through the stuff that I had gone through. Kill yourself. You're not going to make it. No matter what you do, you're always going to feel no good about yourself. You're ugly, you're fat. Like this demonic voice was talking to me. I found my first teacher who was Mohawk, and she was the one that said, by the way, demonic energies exist, demonic entities, ghost walkers, like spiritual attachments of people. They come in all shapes and sizes. And I'm like, really? I just thought it was just stories. She's like, nope, it's a reality for our people, all people. It's just through the Western culture teachings and the dismantle of all ancient cultures that we forgot who we are and how to access that, and that each one of us knew at one point in our lifetime, in our past, everyone knew it. It was totally normal. Everyone lived it. But with the witch trials and through different teachings, that it was shunned. And then we started ratting on each other for survival. And then the laws came here, and Native Americans weren't allowed to practice until the 60s, I believe, and it was the 80s. So it's a history. Everything in history has complete impact on who we are today. Like you had mentioned, psychology is affected. Totally. Schizophrenic is from the hammer of the witches, is what they used to kill people who were gifted. Like, come on. They got to grow out of these things. They got to start embracing the spirituality and the reality that there's millions of children coming in that are totally gifted and they have no guidance.
None.
So we're going to start specializing in helping gifted children in workshops. And we have a book written. Yeah.
Spirit warriors who are getting hammered on.
Yeah, schizophrenia is basically spiritual warriors who are getting hammered on. The ones who are sent down to help free the people. And freeing the people is waking them up and getting them from the darkness back into the light, because we only have 10 years to do it. Yeah, so lots of information.
There is a lot of information, and that's why I said before we broadcast, we'll be doing this many times. And family, this is, and I think I told Barbara this before we got on air. This is an advanced conversation, because this is where I'm at. This is where we need to be. And the bottom line is, if you are sitting here and you push play on this broadcast and you have no idea what we're talking about and whatever, this is not for you.
Research it.
You have to research it and you have to do your work, because at this stage in my priesthood, there is no more stroking you, making you feel good, throwing a little sugar cake. I'm not doing that. 2017, this is what it is. This is what I am. And these are the topics that I discuss. So again, this is an advanced conversation, and it is what it is. Go ahead, Mama.
I was just going to say, many horses, and I've worked with him for 6 years, and from day one, he's been wide open about it. At our workshops, on radio interviews, he said there's no time to waste. He said you can't beat around the bush anymore. He's like, an elder taught me that. And he stood there and he's like, what do you mean? And she told him to go like this. I'll show you. She's like, go like this. And she started going like this. And I was, go faster. Okay, I'm going it faster. She's like, now quit beating around the bush and tell it like it is. So, yeah, elders are fun.
You gotta love elders.
Yeah, so it is. You got to be upfront and honest so that people know what to research and know what to look for. I was going to speak on grieving, and we had spoke about the spiritual war. So it's like people need to know change is coming. We have to come together. Yeah, and we have to start teaching our people what we know, everything. Yeah, that's why we have the websites. Like if you want to clear your home or get rid of demonic entities, it's on our websites. Yeah, we've had it up there for about 4 or 5 years now.
You have. And, it is important because people are being forced to deal with their wounds, and they're really not going to have all of this fluff that they've been dealing with, if you will, it's not going to be applicable anymore. They're going to need real tools that actually really do something in order to help them move along in their process. And, my elders have been talking about that for years as well. So they're like, you need to be making sure that you're cleaning yourself, that you're growing and you're advancing, you're honing in your skills, because there's going to be a time where many things are going to happen to people that they're not going to understand, and they will not be going to AKA traditional, like I'm going to go to church. That's not going to work because, no offense, people, that's the storefront. To an extent, they're going to be going to I'm just keeping it real. Some of y'all ain't going to like what I'm saying, but we're keeping it real.
It's true because my first teacher was Mohawk, and she said the same thing. It's prophesized. When things hit the fan, and when the spirits are wide awake, walking with us, plain as day, physical like us, when the veil is lifted, people are going to go to the government. They're not going to know what to do. People are going to go to the churches. They're not going to know what to do. They're going to go to all kinds of organizations. They're not going to know what to do. And they're going to start finally facing the traditional healers and shamans and energy workers. And that's when we're finally going to get recognized for what we know. And we're not going to be labeled crazy anymore. Yeah. And it's going to happen soon.
Oh no, it's already.
Yeah.
I talked to other people where it's already happening, and it's funny. She's like, "Yeah, I have my friends. They'll be up in church on Sunday, and then when the shit hits the fan on Monday, and they see something they don't understand, they're calling me to get a reading or to get a bath or a healing, because church is not going to, take what needs to be taken away or to come clear their environment. So, like I said, this is an advanced conversation, and I'm not making any apologies for it. Some, throughout the years, I sort of kind of danced around and, Spirit is like, not yet, but those days are over. So, what needs to be spoken is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and the whole energy thing is your words are energy. You can feel the breath out of your mouth and the vibration. When you think, energy leaves you. When you breathe, energy leaves you. Everything that we do is energy. Our heart is what monitors and controls our auric energy. So the more we love ourselves and forgive and remove the blocks and traumas in our body, the bigger our aura gets, the bigger energy that we have, the more lighter and our lights look. When we hit purity, our aura turns white. When we're cleaning ourselves up. And then after that, it goes all kinds of amazing colors. And that's when we hit the wisdomhood, like we hit the 13 grandmother teachings is after we purify ourselves. The 13 grandmother teachings is all the feminine teachings. All the feminine teachings is energy teachings. And that is what's missing in humanity today, is understanding of energy. And if someone was to get mad at me, I not only hear them, I feel their words on my body. If they're mad at me, it punches me in the stomach. Yeah, so that's how we sense people talking, is when they feel. When we look at someone, we can feel their body aches, their pains. We can tell if they're being psychically attacked, demonically attacked, and we know what to do to help them. But we can't just go up to someone and say, hey, we can help you. You have to allow other people to speak for you and suggest them to come to you. And it has to be on their own free will. That's when it works. Yeah, so it's really amazing. there are many, many helpers out there, many, many belief systems that are all earth-based, that are all helpful. And everyone has a piece of the puzzle. See, in order to get yourself into a place of purity again, you need to help undo the damage done in your brain. The false memories, the put-downs, the negative teachings that we have growing up as children from our teachers, from society, from television, all these false beliefs that we take on that mold who we are, which makes us insecure, jealous, and envious people and judgmental people, that we're really feeling that about ourselves. So it's really important to identify, where did I learn this? Like in childhood. And once you start healing your past, you work from your earliest memory till now. Earliest memory till now, so your energy is always moving forward. If you were to do it in a linear line and start, I'll pick this one, I'll pick this one, I'll pick this one, your energy is always going to go backwards. So what you want to do is start from your earliest seed until now, so your energy is always growing with you. You're maturing as you go through your memories. And we always share with people, journal it. The very first memory, you journal everything. Great, great detail. What did it look like? What did it smell like? What energy did you see? What did it feel like? What did you say? What did they say? And once you journal it, you'll understand a lot of times when people get mad at us, is someone else got mad at them or they haven't dealt with their issues and they're putting it on us because we triggered something in them. So once you see the whole psychology of it, then you understand, now I know why I did it. And then as you journal and write, the memory cells leave your body. Your triggers are less and less and less the more you identify instead of just reacting. And it's also really changing our core beliefs. What I do is I tell people, write a picture of yourself on a piece of paper, what you think you look like, and then stand in the mirror. Which one's correct? And then change your perspective to what you really look like. And then on that same piece of paper, you write down everything that you believe about your body or everything that someone has told you that is wrong with you. And then once it's full and everything that you can think of, you write around your body, then you take a blank piece of paper and write 4 beliefs per page and leave a space underneath and write an on box and an off box and then read it out loud, cross it off, say delete, 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 check it off and rewrite your own belief. And the act of writing it out changes your own beliefs, so you're no longer putting yourself down, taking on someone else's belief, or believing something that is not even true in your reality today. So that changing the core beliefs, first with yourself, allows you to it becomes easier to change your core beliefs with society. So you start small and move your way up.
Which is very important because we have a lot of healing to do.
Yeah, and that's how you heal yourself. And then with that, we share how to do your walk. And once you do we call it walking the absolute truth. It's a teaching many horses taught me. You can do it within 3 hours in one night, and you can shift your whole life. You don't have to go to counseling for 20, 30 years. You can do it in one night. The journaling part is the finalization. Yeah, so it's really important to take the time, and I've done it. I was on the road traveling, and I had my own hotel room, put my rocks around me, had smudge going, and I said, okay. I asked my guides to help me, and I said, okay, I give myself permission to talk about my earliest memory until now, all the negative ones, so I can understand it. And I laid on the bed, and I'm like, okay, this feels really silly talking to myself. Like, what the heck am I doing? Like, I felt, because, when you first start doing spiritual things, it kind of feels silly at first. So it's like, I feel really silly, but I need to do this because I feel compelled to do it, and I'm tired of the heaviness on my body. I'm tired of being so hard on myself. I need to know what happened to me. So when I started talking, how I said to journal in very great detail, I talked about my first memory, and as I talked, if I got spanked on the bum, I took the spank off my bum. I swiped off the energy. If I got spanked on my hand, I took the energy off my hand. If I got pulled by the hair at school or whatever, but each memory, if I was touched or I felt energy come in my body, as I'm closing my eyes and watching it, I'm talking, I'm pulling it off. What I remember. Okay, next memory. Talk, pull it off. Okay, next memory. Talk, pull it off. And I did it, and I asked my guides to show me in sequence. So I saw it flash in my mind, And then I just pulled, okay, next one, pulled, next one, pulled. My energy the next day, like my energy prior to that was very spiky. And if I looked at you, it was like, boom, I hit you with energy. After that, when I walked in, many horses, he's like, you did your walk. Your aura is huge. It's smooth now. You know, I don't feel you hit me with a ton of bricks when you walk in a room now because it's a big bully, eh? So anyways, it took me 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. And I did from 0 to 35. And then after that was just maintenance. If something came up, I talked about it in the bathroom, I pulled it off and put love back into myself, like one hand under my belly button, 2 inches under my belly button where a spiritual connection is, one on my third eye, and just breathe, I love you. Fill myself back up with love, because once all those memories come out, you need to put love back in so they don't come back in to harm you. Like, it just shifts your whole energy. It's overnight, and your intuition, your psychic abilities, your empathy, everything is heightened like 1,000 by 1,000 the next day. Yeah. Your aura is more protective. Things can't just come in, and I can feel stuff bounce off my aura like a balloon now. There's more protection.
You know, I have to be honest with you. I just came to this while you were talking. I just came to this realization. And this is for the people who know you, who know many horses and the legacy that you are bringing forth. This is to let the people know that you're okay and things will go forward as planned.
Yes.
And this is a powwow for us, for people to be a voyeur on so they can take steps forward. But Spirit was like, now that we know where one is going, where she is going, and that things are progressively getting better and gonna be okay, I would really love to have you on the H20 network at least once a month to talk about your programs in depth for the people, because I think tonight I'm sitting here listening to and looking at you both, and this is just basically like a message to the people to let the people know that all is well. Because it's one thing to see you writing on Facebook, but it's another to have you in a conversation talking about what you're going to bring forth and what is going to be manifest in this next year. This is like a feel better, feel good type of broadcast is what I realize as I'm listening to you. I'm like, this is not what you think it is. It's so the people know that you are okay. And I have to share with you that when many horses passed away, even though he is still here, he has changed his form. A lot of people emailed me and were begging me for the broadcast that we all did on the H-O network, me, you, and him. They were dying to know where that broadcast was. And I was waiting for you to contact me because Spirit's like, the people want to see her, but don't contact her. Wait till she contacts you. And you contact.
Yeah, they were like, contact Dia.
Yep. So here I am, I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about Ancient Wisdom Trail and what's going forward. And Spirit's like, you're so stupid. This is an okay process. They're like, sweetie, you're not running the show. We're running the show. This is a powwow so the people can actually see Maureen and actually see Barbara and know that all is good and that you will continue to be in the public eye to talk about things that they need to know about. Because I've had people contact me about these broadcasts, so I'm just throwing it out there. Yes, I'll be putting people on the spot and have no bones about it. Yes, I said it. So I think that next month, you and Maureen should come together with the topic about what needs to be addressed, and we'll get back on here and you'll do your thing and I'll facilitate and we'll talk about what we need to talk about. But the people tonight, I just realized I'm listening to you talk and I'm looking at you And I see many horses, and Spirit's like, this is not what you think it is. It's so that people can see Barbara.
And Maureen.
Yeah, and Maureen, it's very important that they know that, things are going forward. And I just realized that. So basically people are being able to watch a conversation that a group of shamans are having, which I think is a privilege and very important to have at this time. So are you guys down with that next month in December?
Yes. It'd have to probably be the first week. It was funny because we got the same message.
Yeah.
It's got to be on a regular basis that people need to hear what Spirit has to share. Because I was going to talk about grieving, and then I did a prayer before all of this, and I called in all the ancestors from all the directions, and then it just, whatever flashes in my mind is what they're showing me. So
Yep, Spirit stopped me.
That's how it works.
Yep, they were like, do not ask her to do any tools or nothing. This is like, we're doing a check-in right now. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
it is what it is. So we are basically having a live meeting for everybody to see, which is fine with me because, transparency and things of this nature, in this next year is very important. And again, people needed to see you and Maureen. They needed to hear the sound of your voice. I needed to hear the sound of your voice. So the fact that we're just speaking here on video and we're talking is a healing within itself, and to know that we'll be walking forward for the people, by the people, because at this very point in time, it's just crucial. That's all I can. I mean, I could go on and on. You know how I get on here, but it's very important. But we all needed to be able to see you, Barbara, and we needed to see you, Maureen. And I think that once a month we'll go on and you can give the people what they need, because they need that at this time. And I realized that when people were like, where are the videos? What's going on? I was like, wow, I never had so many people contact me before, about
Yeah.
that broadcast. I mean, a lot of people watched it, but when that happened, it's very important. So we will move forward. It's on you. I'm just the producer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what Maureen and we pledged to him, that we would continue his teachings, to keep it going. Yeah, so we have a women's workshop this weekend in Smithers, BC. Yeah, and then we're going to have one in January, February, March in same place, Smithers, BC. We're just going to start local and move out from there. So we'll see where things go. I've already been told that I'm going to be invited to the jungle somewhere, so I'm like, okay, that's cool. They see me going somewhere in a tropical area. So I'm just going to kind of go with the flow and work with Spirit. Many Horses is still very much around. I think, yeah. He's quite the character. He's still the same on the other side. He's lots of fun. So I've seen him manifest quite a bit of times, and I've seen, we had a celebration of his life, and I looked and he smiled at me, and I smiled at him, and I looked away, and I'm like, Many Horses, and it was a short, fat man. I'm like, holy smokes. It was him there for like a split 2 seconds. And I look back, and I'm like, that's not Many Horses. So I've seen him physically, and he's always around. I can sense and feel him, hear him. And he's still very much helping. And he keeps telling me, you got to keep going. Don't let the teachings die. He's like, same thing. It's coming to a point in mankind's reality that we don't have time to waste anymore. We got to just keep sharing and get out as fast as you can.
And tell it like it is.
And tell it like it is. Yeah, he was always. Yeah, so it was good. It's good. It was an adjustment. I had to do lots of ceremonies to help myself. Yeah, and I think it's knowing that it's okay to truly feel the love. Like, I can honestly say that love gets stronger after someone leaves. You won't believe how much love that you can have in your being.
I can attest to that. That is so.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a profound conversation. Yeah, man, that is very much on point because my grandmother is one of my guides, and I tell you that love that is embedded within your heart, when someone really loves you and they leave this world, they're still here, but just in a different form, and they put their
Yeah.
hand on your chest, boy, they activate that love, that passion, and you'll be weeping like you cannot. I mean, there was one time last week where I was just so distraught. So I couldn't stop weeping, and
Yeah.
it was because of the love that my grandmother had embedded in my spirit. So it is just, man, I could go on. It's just very important that
Yeah.
we move forward. And where can the people get in touch with you? Because we're going to continue to do this, and you're going to continue to come forward and give what the people need and what they want in order to clear and to move forward. Where can the family get in touch with you guys?
We have 2 Facebooks, Maureen Morven and Barbara M. Moreau. Or you can just type in the search bar Ancient Wisdom Trail. It'll take you to my name. We have 2 websites, ancientwisdomtrail.com and absolutetruthparanormal.com. In the contact form, if you fill it out, it goes right to my email. And my cell phone number is also on the websites. And you can contact us if you need help, guidance, clearings, readings. We're all solution-based, so everything that we do is energy work. So even in talking to someone, it clears them. We just don't tell them. Oops. Many Horses was an amazing teacher, I swear. Like, some of the things that he taught us was be the energy of unconditional love. And we are so, and we help people, even through our own voices and providing solutions. People know what to do. And it's when you know what to do, it's like, oh, I feel better now. Yeah. We don't add to the negativity. It's like, okay, I'll help you understand it. Here's what you can do to help yourself.
Indeed, we got enough of that. And, it's funny you say that because we have to walk this walk and talk the talk. We have to stand in our truth. We have to speak the truth. And if, you're on this spiritual walk, you have to take those steps. So, we are bringing it forward in live and full effect. And I know Many Horses it has always been like that for the beginning, but we cannot stand by the side of the road, in any way, shape, or form. Our lives depend upon that. And a lot of people may not understand what I'm saying, but those that
Yeah.
do. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that
And
everything is going forward.
yeah. Yes. And it's time to start helping the children, because it's the new generation that's coming up. Like, there's different sequence of children that came in, and we're part of the rainbow and indigo, so we're very blend. And we're the ones that are the movers and shakers, and the ones behind us are the ones that are good, that we need to teach about the energy and how the power of prayers, the power of thought, the power of intention, the power of energy, everything, ceremony, so that they can correct the damage that we've done as a nation, all of mankind, to Mother Earth. Yeah, so we have to get things orchestrated, and we need to start teaching our youth that these are the answers you're looking for. You always find something missing in your heart. You know there's more to life. Well, hello, it's ancient teachings. It's a psychology. It's a spiritual work. It's being the light. It's knowing that you can do energy work on your own time to help Mother Earth heal. Yeah, because the whole thing with the polluted waters, like, if we can get, I was talking to another gentleman, if we can get 30 enlightened people to come together, even at a distance, to do a ceremony, we can shift the waters on Mother Earth. We can shift it. We can fix it. Yeah. So we can do amazing things. It's just, people just need to believe in themselves. And
Absolutely. They need to believe a lot of things, and they need to stand in their truth. And that's why I said at the beginning, before we got on air, this is who I am. I'm a shaman. I can't stand behind the clouds and dance around and pretend that I'm not. I'm a spiritual person, and this is what I do for real, for real. No holds bar. And I can't, and I'm in the public eye just as much as you are, and I can't I have to speak my truth, and some people aren't going to like that. Some people are going to feel uncomfortable, but we have been chosen for this road, so you have to keep walking forward. You have to keep walking forward.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Do you have anything you want to add about the children? Maureen's really good at working with gifted children. She's good at a lot of things. She's like a big warrior on the other side.
I know.
If you can see her
quiet right now, I'm like, ooh, what is going on in her mind?
Yeah.
Well, for everybody who doesn't know me, my name is Maureen Morven. I come from the Nisga'a Nation, and which is just a small area in northern BC. And growing up, I was one of those spiritual warriors who got hammered on when I was young. And so I was faced with dark ones my whole life. And the only person who could teach me about that was my grandfather. And while a lot of people are going to doctors and getting medicated, my grandfather was giving me teachings. And in being blunt and telling it like it is, I could say around the time Many Horses was being very sick, there was a lot of attack. And we found ourselves in the biggest spiritual war of our entire lives. And because of my teachings early on in my life, I was taught a lot of protections, I was considered a warrior. All the tools that were given to me from Spirit are of warriors. Past lives, knowledge of past lives, those were all warrior gifts. And so I'm in observing, I find children, they're looking for somebody to teach them and let them know that the things that they're seeing are actually there and they don't need to be afraid of them. I'm finding I come into contact with a lot of indigo children, and they are very blunt to the point. They will not tolerate disrespect or lack of integrity or dishonesty in any way, shape, or form. And that is their purpose. They're here to expose all of that and to take it down so that we could go back to living in unity. And they're making room for the crystal children to show us how to live in unity.
Well, maybe we should do a show, we should do many shows, switch back and forth to talk about the children, because that is important. I've had many conversations with people. Unfortunately, it's not a positive one. So I think that would be quite useful if we have spiritual conversations going back and forth for the masses and then for the children, the ones, there are a lot of gifted. My God, I see so many videos on gifted kids. There's this kid who was crying over the fact, I think he was 10 years old, crying over the fact that, about the water, and he was breaking it down to his mother. And I'm looking at this video like, good God, man. I mean, there are a lot of advanced souls. Like he had encapsulated that within his spirit. He's like, you don't understand. We're messing things up for the generations after us. So maybe we should discuss at a later time again, doing 2 shows every other month or every month, whichever way that you want to do that specifically deals with kids, because I think that a lot of people have questions about that. How do I nurture this gifted child? How do I nurture the child who has spiritual sight and hearing? Those imaginary friends, some of them are real, very much real.
Yes,
they're all real.
Watch them walk through walls. That was fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So we need to bring that. We need to bring that to the people. Absolutely.
Yes. And we can do that. Yeah. Yeah. Piece of cake.
This has been a good shamanistic powwow for real. Where can, so you guys, you have Maureen, you have your Facebook page. Barbara, you have your Facebook page. Do you have an Ancient Wisdom Trail page? Is the page still up?
Yeah, I just uploaded at ancientwisdomtrail.com. I just reloaded it. It has a new makeover. When Many Horses was alive, we started putting it together. We were going to transfer everything over. And it kind of got put on hold, but it needs to go out, and people need to know it's still there. So we have the old one up under the Wix website. I'll have to repost that one, the old website. And the new one up that I just put out yesterday, I finally uploaded it to the internet. And over the next 2 or 3 months, I'll be slowly working on it because there's over 200 notes that have to be transferred. And that the system for Wix.com is a little bit slow. So it'll be a slow process.
No worries, just as long as we can find you. And is there anything else that you have to say to the people before we break out of here?
Just love yourself. Love yourself. Be kind to yourself. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Hug yourself and say, I love you every day. Become the love that you always wanted in your life. And it helps fill that missing void in your heart, especially after a loved one dies, is when you turn that love to yourself. And if there's something that you miss, admit it. Yeah. And the more you deny your feelings, the stronger it gets. So keep admitting, telling it like it is. Keep yourself in the light. And when you cry, just let you know I'm safe to cry. It's safe to cry. I'm not afraid anymore. I don't have to keep it stuffed down anymore. And I always tell myself I cry to release. And I ask for healing to come in and for it to be turned into wisdom so I can see the teaching about it. Because for too long we're taught to suppress. We can do that in the privacy of our own home and in a sacred place where if we need to release, let her rip. Because we need that emotional block to come out so healing can come.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if Many Horses has added anything to your life, then just know he's alive and well.
Yes. He used to say, take what I share, run with it, and become better than me. Okay. So we'll share the same message. Take what we share and run with it and become better than me. Yeah. Because we want to see people grow and become their own leaders. That's what being a healer is about, is creating leaders, not followers.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have said it any better, family. You just, here she is, and we will be back. All is good. We got to sit in on the shamanistic powwow, and we most definitely will be back. Barbara Maureen will be back next month, and I will make sure to post the topics. This is an advanced conversation, baby.
Yes.
I love you guys so much, and we'll be talking soon. Thank you so much for sitting down with me this evening.
Yes, it was lots of fun.
Bye, family.
Bye-bye.